Good morning, everyone. Welcome back into my little kitchen, my little world. Over the weekend, I went to a couple of yard sales. What else is new with me? But I found a couple of things I just really couldn't resist. I have people ask me all the time, so what motivates you? What do you think about when you start to make a video? Nothing, really. I just kind of wing it on most of these. Unless I have a particular something in mind, and sometimes I do, and it can be a plate I have bought or some dish or whatever. Well, over the weekend, I bought two things. One of them is sitting right here, little antique mixer that I bought, and another is a particular pan that I'm going to make this recipe today in. So when I go to a yard sale, and most of the time I'm doing that scan look, you know, all the tables are out and I'm just kind of scanning everything until something hits my eye that I'm a little bit attracted to. Don't need a thing, but I just go to them just for something to do, to have some fun. One table had some things that my husband, I knew, wanted. And because he's not home right now, what I usually do is I just take my phone and I just take a picture, you know, several of them, and then I send it to him and say, do you want any of this? And of course he immediately responds, yeah, you know, I could use, you know, that item or that tool or whatever. And I'll go ahead and get it. But for me, it was this adorable, and you know I've shown mixers before, but this was a special little one too because it's small. It's not quite like my husband's grandmother's mixer. It's smaller than that. It had its own cute little cover to it, little flower cover. And this one happens to be a Hamilton Beach. And I thought, I think it's gonna be just the right size for what I'm doing today. Don't have to bring out my great big KitchenAid tabletop mixer. I'm just gonna use this little cute guy. And something else that I found was this cute little loaf pan. Now you may not think anything about it until I start to make this, and when I get all done, it has pumpkins. See these cute little pumpkins? Yeah, the designs of pumpkins, because in 4 days, it's going to be the start of fall. I'm already ready for it. The house is decorated, not heavily decorated, but decorated just enough that when you come in my door, whether it's the back door or the front door, you're going to see fall. Of all the beautiful colors that go along with fall, from oranges to golds to yellows to the rich browns to deep reds, it's all part of a new season now going directly into winter, but we have to have fall, and it's my favorite time of the year. So I'm probably going to make several fall recipes. I really am. But today I'm going to make what I call a spicy ginger loaf and put in this pan. If there's a little bit extra or won't go all of it in this pan, I've got a backup pan ready, reserved for that, because I don't want it to overflow out of this pan. But I just thought it was adorable. It's got a little fence along holding the little pumpkins, and I just thought it was really cute. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use this pan to make me this little loaf treat, because I haven't had anything in a long time. I haven't made cookies, I haven't made a cake, I haven't made a pie, nothing. So I thought, okay, today is going to go this, and I want to show you how easy this is to make. So the very first thing you'll need is a half of a cup of butter, but it needs to be at room temperature. So I'm going to get it out first of all. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Mine's already there, preheated. This one got quite soft on me, and that's okay. Quite soft. You don't want melted butter. You just want it room temperature where it's soft, where it comes right out of that package. And this one has. Okay, so I've got that. And then we're going to need a half of a cup of brown sugar. So I'll get out my brown sugar here, and I'll use probably this one to put a half a cup of brown sugar in here. The recipe doesn't say packed, so I am going to do it kind of loosely on here. Loosey. gorgeous day in Colorado today. I went outside, had to take the trash out, and I went outside to talk to my 93-year-old neighbor who has her daughter and husband visiting her for a little while. And that's always nice to chit-chat across the fence, but I actually went over there to her. Because she begs me, you know, come on over and sit and talk. Okay, so I did. All right, so this you're going to mix up. So we're just going to, let's see here. I'm gonna go on slow, a little bit of slow. Again, why I like these old-fashioned mixers is that you can turn the bowl, you can actually get your rubber spatula down there and help it along. And I love it when you can do that. The KitchenAid mixers won't do that. It'll tear up a wooden spoon or a spatula right now. I don't have that problem with this. Probably could have put this in a little bowl. You are going to need 3 different bowls. This recipe calls for 3 different bowls. That off my spatula here. So many speeds on this, really. It has one for stirring, slow mixing, pre-mixing, creaming, one for cake mixes, blending, beating, whipping, and heavy beating. But right now, all I want to do is cream it. So that's kind of what I'm doing, just creaming it. Again, get that off my rubber spatula with the beaters. Isn't that fun? To use an old-fashioned mixer. I love them. I really do. Really like them. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need in your separate bowl is you're going to need some molasses. And we're going to take a 1/2 cup of molasses. I'm going to use this bowl right here. Get out another measuring cup. Take a 1/2 cup. Good old molasses. Stick that in here. And this is just the original Grandma's molasses that I'm using for this. Scrape my little measuring cup so that I get all of it. Get every last drop of that sweetness in there. Yeah. And then to the molasses, we're going to need a 1/2 cup of hot water. So I went ahead and just brought my little teapot over here. And I'm going to fill that now with a 1/2 cup of hot water. Then I'm going to take a whisk and I'm going to whisk that up, the hot water in here to blend that. Get that all nice and blended. Molasses smells so good. It just gets the start to fall to me. It's just got a wonderful, wonderful aroma to it. It really does. Okay, then we're going to do the dry ingredients. So set that aside a little bit. Oops. I did butter and sugar. Oh, I forgot 2 things in this mixture. Starting off real good on my recipe, aren't I? I apologize. Okay, there are 2 more things that have to go in here. No biggie, but you do have to have 2 eggs. These are my fresh farm eggs. These are the green ones. And they too have to be at room temperature. So we'll stick these in, turn the mixer back on, stick that in there. And I do apologize for that. See, I get talking. It's like if somebody was sitting here talking with me. I get talking and then I forget what I'm doing. And then we're going to take some 1 teaspoon of vanilla, whatever brand that you have. Okay, let's see, 1 teaspoon of that. I'm using my Madagascar for this particular recipe because Oh, I want it to taste good. I really do. I do want that to taste good. Okay, let's see that. Blending this up just a little bit more. Get those eggs in there. Yeah, I think I could have used the smaller bowl, but that's all right. Just want to get it all blended. Get off my spatula a little bit here. All those goodies. So lift that up just a little bit. Have it nice and done. And you know, I didn't see in this one, let me look right quick here, because I did not see if this moved. Yep, it does. Move it over. What does that do? That gets me to the side of the bowl where it mixes all the way around now. Need a cup of coffee again. I really do. Need that cup of coffee again. There we go. It's been so long since I have used these old-fashioned mixers, I kind of have pretty much just forgotten it. They do have 2 holes on the bottom base. And that's what I need. Okay, that part is done. All right, now take a bowl for your dry ingredients. And in your dry ingredients, you're going to need 2 cups of just all-purpose flour. So we'll get that in here. The all-purpose flour. And then you're going to need, some spices. I'm just going to bring them on over here. All these little spices with my measuring spoons here. So the very first one that you're going to need in this particular recipe is some ginger. And you're going to need 2 teaspoons of ginger. So 1, 2 of that, with that taken care of. And then you're going to need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1, 2. Then you're going to need a half of a teaspoon, 1/2 here, of cloves. Half a teaspoon of cloves. And half a teaspoon of salt. Can't get carried away, have to do it in order. There's some salt. And you're going to need 1 teaspoon full of the baking soda. Get that cleaned off from the cinnamon. Baking soda. And then you're going to need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of some allspice. That's all your dry ingredients right there. Let me grab another little whisk right quick here. Little one. Don't need a great big one, just a little one. So let me go over those dry ingredients one more time. 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of the ginger, 2 teaspoons of the cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cloves, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. Stick that in there. Whisk it up. It looks like that now. Just fine. Okay, now comes the part where you're gonna kind of alternate this just a little bit. So what I wanna do is I wanna take this out of here. Because I'm done with this and I can set it aside. Way over there out of the way. And now what I want to do is take half, a little bug that shouldn't have been there. came down from I don't know what ceiling fan, I guess. A half amount of your dry ingredients. Put in here. Whisk that around. Okay. Then take half of the liquid. Put that in there. Whisk it around. Followed by the rest of your flour. Whisk around. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to get the bigger whisk. I'm going to like it just a little bit better. And the rest of your liquid. Getting all that molasses. Clean up my mess. Just kind of fold, whisk but fold it in. You want it light and airy. Make sure you get everything on the bottom whipped up. Whipped in here. Okay, I'm going to change now to my rubber spatula, where I know I can get all the goodies now. Yeah, take it to the very bottom. Make sure that you get all that flour and dry ingredients mixed in there. Smells wonderful. It really does. Now, because I've never used this little pan before, and even though it kind of looks like it has a Teflon coating throughout the whole thing, I am going to go ahead and generously spray some cooking spray in here. Generous amount. Generous, generous. And then I'm going to take the mixture now and pour in here. This particular little pan has, it's got like a little line where that fence line ended. And I don't really want to go past that because I've never used this little pan. I don't want it to come out. I mean, I think I might be okay with it. Let's see how much more I can get in here. Might be able to get all of it in here. We'll try all of it. If nothing else, when it comes out and if it overflows or whatever it wants to do, I'll say, you know, should have listened to my first instinct on it. But it is coming right to that line of that fence line, so I think I'm going to be okay. So again, you're going to put this in a 350-degree oven, and you're going to bake this for a good 50 to 60 minutes. And then when that comes out, I'll let it cool before I take it out of the pan, and then I'll be right back to show you that. And I think it's going to be really nice in my little pumpkin fall pan. So I'll be back in about 50, 60 minutes, depending on my oven. Catch you in a few. Okay, I'm back. My spicy ginger loaf is out of the oven. I've let it cool down quite a bit, but now I want to see if it's actually going to come out of the pan. So I've got a platter here that I'm going to put it on. And I'm going to go ahead and take my oven mitts because it is, like I said, still a little bit warm. Just a little bit warm. But I think what I'll do, actually I think I'll go this way. I think I'm just going to set it like this. Now I could take off the top of this. I tested it with my cake tester to make sure that down inside it came out clean, and it did. And now I'm going to take the pan, actually it's not as hot as I thought, and I'm going to put it on here and hope and pray, it is a little warm, that it comes out. Let's see here. Oh, it's going to come out just fine. I worried for nothing. There it is. There it is. Well, isn't that cute? My little pumpkins with the little fence. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of powdered sugar. I'll put some in my little vintage. Everything's vintage today. I'll put that in there. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit of that on it just so that I can see the pumpkins that are on there. Look at that. How festive is that for fall? Yeah. And then I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have a slice of that with my tea that I got these adorable little vintage cups. Nobody would like this but me, really, unless you're vintage. But each one is of a different pheasant because my theme this year is going with the pheasants. Big pheasants like this. I found this little guy and I just fell in love with him. So that is my theme for going for the fall season. At the end of my video, I'll show you what I've kind of put on my table temporarily now, keeping in the theme with the pheasants. I hope all of you are having a wonderful start to another fresh new week come fall. 4 days until fall. But I'm going to dive right into my spicy ginger loaf. I may or may not add whipped cream to it. I may have it just as it is. I hope you've enjoyed my video. I'll catch you next time on Cooking with Carol Diane, from my kitchen to yours. Have a grand day. Bye-bye.